gathers it. Great play by Taney. There is strike three.
1, 2, 3, Raptors!
From the Rockville campus of Montgomery College Television is proud to present NJCAA College Softball with the Montgomery College Raptors welcoming the Hawks from the College of Southern Maryland. Hi everybody, I'm Michael Brown, and as always it is my pleasure to welcome in my partner Marcus Rosano. Marcus, good to be back together again, and I know we are both looking forward to seeing this softball team back in action.
Really, this Raptors team is very different from last year, but as always, I'm glad to be alongside you, the voice of Montgomery College Athletics.
Well, about 10 days ago, Marcus and I were here to call the doubleheader that the Raptors played against Harvard, and we talked a lot about how the 2016 season could be that turnaround year for this program, and nothing I've seen since then would change my mind.
Yeah, their talent was on display against Division I Harvard, and MC took a doubleheader. In the opening game, it was Bridget Gratton in the circle, and she had a great game. She pitched an 8-0 shutout. She located the ball really well, she changed speeds, and she really kept Harvard off balance.
And that game was also a showcase for the Raptors offense and defense. You had players like Megan Anderson, the Raptors leadoff hitter and shortstop. Boy, she had a great game. She did everything she's supposed to do. She got on base every time up. She was aggressive on the base paths. She scored a couple of runs, and she was flawless in the field. And then right behind her in the batting order is Taney. And Taney was fantastic as well. She drove in a run, she stole a couple of bases, she scored a couple of runs, and she made the defensive play of the game. And then in the second game, they turned the ball over to Special Zeno.
And Special Zeno, the freshman from California, was dominant. She allowed 2 early runs, but she finished the game with 12 strikeouts, including 5 in a row at one point. After that early stumble that she had, she only allowed 1 more hit, and she actually retired the final 9 batters she faced.
And we also saw in that second game that the Raptors can hit the ball in the clutch. They came from behind to tie it in the bottom of the 7th, and then they won it in extras in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, the timely hitting really showed late in the game. It was Christine Mabry who drove in Maddie Rivadeneira in the 7th inning to tie the game at 2. And then in the 8th inning, it was Special Zeno helping her own cause with a game-winning single that actually gave her the win and the Raptors the win.
Well, and it's doubleheader sweeps like that has you and I both thinking that 2016 is going to be a special year for this team. Now, in today's doubleheader, they are taking on the D2 Hawks from the College of Southern Maryland. Now, even though their record is a little bit below 500, they're 13-14 at the moment, they are right behind Montgomery College in the Maryland JUCO standings. So with just 3 weeks to go in the regular season, this is an important doubleheader for both of these teams. And we are just about set to get game 1 underway. Stick with us. Marcus and I are coming right back with the starting lineups and the first pitch of the afternoon. You're watching Montgomery College Softball on MC TV.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, flexible scheduling, over 130 programs of study, award-winning faculty, nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Apply today.
My favorite thing about Montgomery College is their commitment to excellence.
The support that we have from our teachers and our colleagues is amazing.
They really wanted me to pursue my goals and to graduate and to go beyond.
The small class sizes and everything was very hands-on.
Our teachers are hands-on on the students. They are there and they are available at any time.
They just want you to succeed. I love everything about Montgomery College.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes. Flexible scheduling. Over 130 programs of study. Award-winning faculty. Nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Apply today.
Montgomery College is a friendly environment.
Great opportunity.
Accessible.
Caring.
Diverse.
Super.
Wow.
Success.
Diverse.
Second home.
Excellent.
Exceptional.
The best.
Simply unforgettable.
Fantabulous.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Amazing. Supportive.
Essential.
It's unique.
Inspiring.
My favorite thing about Montgomery College is their commitment to excellence.
The support that we have from our teachers and our colleagues is amazing.
They really wanted me to pursue my goals and to graduate and to go beyond.
The small class sizes and everything was very hands-on.
Our teachers are hands-on on the students. They are there and they are available at any time.
They just want you to succeed. I love everything about Montgomery College.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes. Flexible scheduling. Over 130 programs of study. Award-winning faculty. Nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Apply today.
Montgomery College is a friendly environment.
Great opportunity.
Accessible.
Caring.
Diverse.
Super.
Wow.
Success.
Diverse.
Second home.
Excellent.
Exceptional.
The best.
Simply unforgettable.
Fantabulous.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Amazing. Supportive.
Essential.
It's unique.
Inspiring.
Welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Michael Brown alongside Marcus Rosano. We're just about to get game one of our doubleheader header underway, so let's take a look at the lineup for the College of Southern Maryland. And a couple of names that jump out at us are Alexis Clark. You see her hitting in the third spot. She leads the team in RBI. She's hitting over 400. And then there's Allison McLean. She has 6 home runs this year, and she's second on the team in RBIs. The head coach of the Hawks is Jim Cleary. He's in his third year. His assistants are Rebecca Gleason, Jerry Watkins, and Bill Hitt.
And on the mound for the Raptors is freshman Special Zeno from California, and we saw her last week against Hartford, and she is definitely the ace of the staff, and she's going to have her hands full today. This CSM Hawks lineup is pretty loaded, and they got some gaudy numbers, I got to say.
Yeah, she's definitely got her work cut out for her. There are some eye-popping batting averages for the Hawks as we see the Raptors being introduced. There's Bridget Gratton, number 13, alongside Special Zeno. And then Jen Valdez just came out, Jocelyn Carter. So this should be a good game between two good teams. Now, there has been an issue with the umpires. At the moment, we have just the home plate umpire. Apparently, the base umpire has been held up in traffic. And can you imagine somebody being held up in traffic in the Washington area?
As a matter of fact, I can.
So anyway, behind home plate is Fred Nastry, and if anybody can handle it on his own in the short term, I'm sure it's Mr. Nastry. He's been an umpire for 40 years, and so he's got a lot of experience. He does professional as well as college ball, both baseball and softball. So
and he's already had a hand in some of the MCTV doings today, as we usually have a camera behind the plate. actually inside of the fence, though, which gives us great views. I mean, we saw some fantastic views in the last game. And then we had a camera down the first baseline, inside the fence, of course, to get that fantastic view. And they are no longer inside the fence. But I'm sure Ed and Joe are going to be able to get the usual customary awesome shots.
Yep, they were just they were told to leave the field, which caught everybody by surprise.
And it sounds like it actually came from the visitors' dugout, which isn't a surprise because there is part of the visitors' dugout that is very familiar with Montgomery College, and that is the former head coach of the Montgomery College softball program, Jerry Watkins. So I'm sure coming into today, he knew a lot about Montgomery College television, the coverage that the Raptors give to their athletics. So, he's probably, a little gamesmanship going on before the game even starts.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, yes, Jerry Watkins, the former head coach of MC softball, left here, I believe, about 3 years ago. It was 3 years ago. So, anyway, we are just about to get underway. The umpire has signaled, let's go. And the Raptors are taking the field. So what started out this morning, it looked very iffy weather-wise. Had some rain earlier this morning, nothing heavy. Now we've got a beautifully clear day, and looks like we're going to have a great day for softball. Not much of a wind at the moment, and not a cloud in the sky at the moment.
And we have 2 umpires.
And we have our second umpire. So everything is good. All is right with the softball world here at Montgomery College. Get a good look here at Special Zeno. Freshman out of Sunnyside High School in Fresno, California. Quite a story for this young lady. She moved to Maryland on her own after the death of her mother, and she just felt like she needed a change of scenery after that traumatic event in her life. And you talk about a busy young woman. When we saw her today, she was coming to school from her full-time job at Modell Sporting Goods. She's an apparel manager there, a full-time student, has 2 jobs, a full-time job and a part-time job. Oh, and yeah, she plays a collegiate sport.
That's right, and she's a student athlete. She actually is not just a pitcher. A lot of times, your ace is just that, your ace. But she actually will play the field, and she got the game-winning hit that we saw the other day against Division I Hartford in the Montgomery College sweep of Hartford.
So she does a little bit of everything. And leading off for Southern Maryland is Caitlin Cave. And she's the right fielder in our opener. And she's out of La Plata High School in Charlotte Hall, Maryland. She takes a ball high and outside, so it's 2-0.
She's drawn 13 walks already this season, so she's got a good eye leading off for the Hawks.
And that's one of the big strategies of softball is you want to get those first couple of batters on and get them running, and then get things started.
And Special painted the outside corner on that third pitch, bring the count to 2-1.
Cave shows bunt, pulls it back. And that was over the outside corner for strike 2, so that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We are underway here from the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Game 1 of our doubleheader between Montgomery College and the College of Southern Maryland. Ball 3 runs the count full.
Special Zeno moving out, three pitches in a row.
So the payoff pitch, and she swings right through it for a strikeout.
Nice pitch, right down around the knees, in a really tough spot for the batter to drop down and get with that fastball.
So that brings up number 2, Corrine Fernald. she takes ball inside. She's the shortstop for Southern Maryland. Interesting, both shortstops wearing number 2. Fouls it back.
Another player with a good eye at the plate. Fernald has 17 bases on balls so far this season.
Yeah, almost 500 on base percentage. One ball, one strike. So once again, we're going to have an umpire with a bit of a delayed call.
I actually heard the strike call on that one, so I had a little bit of an advantage.
And that's going to be low. So 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It takes Special Zeno a couple of innings to really warm up and start throwing as hard and hitting her spots as consistently as she likes.
And that ball is low.
Second 3-2 count.
So she's running the count full to the first 2 hitters in the Southern Maryland lineup. College of Southern Maryland, of course, is located in La Plata, and she walks her. So a 1-out walk to Fernald, and that brings up number 11, Alexis Clark. And we talked about her while we were giving the batting order. She leads the team in RBIs and also hits over 400 for the year. So it's a very productive hitter.
33 for 80 with 26 RBIs.
And 11 doubles. And that's right down Broadway for a strike. So the rule is the runner on first in softball must stay on the base until the ball comes out of the pitcher's hand. There's a strike over the outside corner. And catcher Carrie Taney thought about going down to first with it. She's very active behind the plate. Good arm, smart player. And as the catcher, she was kind of the field general, certainly for the infield.
Clark hangs in on another outside pitch behind Special Zeno 1 and 2.
There's a ground ball, Zeno on it, over to first for the out. In effect, a sacrifice as Fernald moves up to second. And that brings up Lori Sturgill, number 5. She's the starting pitcher for Southern Maryland. And also a very good hitter.
Yeah, hitting .529, 27 for 51 on the season.
She's a freshman. Takes it inside. There goes the throw to third. It gets out, away, but good backup there by Danielle McKenzie to prevent the run as the throw was sailed a little bit on Taney.
Yeah, you could see the ball come right out of the top of Carrie Taney's fingertips.
And another look at that. Just sailed on her, but good backup on the play there by McKenzie to prevent a run. Sturgill ahead on the count, 2 balls, no strikes. As Southern Maryland threatens here in the top half of the first. Quickly 3-0 to Sturgill.
And it's a good idea, good offensive game plan to get the other team to start throwing the ball.
Yeah, things can happen. Bases are shorter in softball, 60 feet as opposed to 90. There's a strike. Sturgill taking all the way. And of course, Zeno has first base open, so we'll see what. Well, that was right down the middle, and Sturgill did a nice job of getting the bat on the ball there as she fouled it off.
2 nice pitches from Special Zeno to bring the count to 3-2. So now she's out away from getting out of this top half of the first.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fernald on third. And there is strike 3 as Sturgill takes it, and that ends the inning. Special Zeno strikes her out to end the top half of the first. Southern Maryland does not score. The Raptors coming up to bat. Marcus, let's take a look at the Raptors batting order as they prepare to come up in the bottom half of the first inning. Of course, in the pregame we talked about Megan Anderson and Carrie L. Taney, but there's some other very good hitters in this lineup. This is a much improved lineup over last year. You mentioned, of course, Christine Mabry in the pregame with her game-tying hit in that doubleheader we did about 10 days ago against Hartford. So it's a very solid lineup. The head coach of the Raptors is Pete Trudeau. He's in his second year. His assistants are James Niffenegger, affectionately known as Pops to the players, and then Brittany Trudeau and Maddie Trudeau are the other 2 coaches, and of course they are the daughters of Pete Trudeau and James Niffenegger. So you got father-daughter combination on the coaching staff.
Brittany played first and third when she was here a couple of years ago, and Maddie was a center fielder when she played for Montgomery College.
So they have come back, and they are giving back.
And as you can see, we discussed in the top half of the inning, Lori Sturgill on the mound for the Hawks. And she's got some decent numbers. She started 11 games. She's pitched 56 innings, given up 51 hits, 26 earned runs. So she has a 3.25 ERA. And she can throw the ball pretty hard. She's got 64 strikeouts in 56 innings for CSM.
Yeah, we were watching her in warm-ups, and she has definitely got some gas behind that ball. And her battery mate is number 7, Alexia Banks. She'll be playing catcher today, at least in the top in the first game of our doubleheader. And leading off for the Raptors is number 2, Megan Anderson, the spark plug of the team, the steady shortstop, and the table setter for the offense. She takes a strike on the inside corner.
Megan's not an easy batter to pitch against. She's only, what was she listed at, 4'11"?
Listed at 4'11". That might be shading it a little bit.
I think she crouches a little bit, and then the first pitch she showed bunt. Not an easy batter to face.
And she grounds it to second, over to first for the out. So that was a bang-bang play. 1 up, 1 down. And that brings up Carrie L. Taney, who we talked about in the first game, or in the pregame.
Probably the best hitting for average player on the Raptors.
Very solid hitter and a great base runner. So if she gets on, she can cause some problems for Southern Maryland, no question about it. Hitting over 500 on the season, and also leads the team in home runs. And she fouls it back.
And she leads the team in cool sleeveless shirts. And it's a nice day for it. 72 degrees, you can roll the sleeves up.
All of a sudden, boy, we were freezing here this morning when we were setting up, but boy, in the last couple of hours, the weather has improved dramatically, so that's great. A little bit high. 2 balls, 1 strike to Carrie L. Taney. She's a freshman out of Northwood High School. And she takes it on the inside corner.
Nice pitch.
His ball and strike call sound very much the same.
True.
And that's why I'm waiting for the signal. And she nubs it down the first baseline and in time for the out.
Well, they made CSM make 2 plays. Hustling down the line were Anderson on the first play and Taney on the second, and the Hawks made 2 good plays.
And that's what you got to do. You got to make those routine, so-called routine plays. Easy for me to say they're routine.
And when you do force the other team to make routine plays, they're not all routine, as we've seen, time in and time out. So things happen, and it's better, it's better to hit a comebacker to the pitcher than to go down on 3 strikes.
And that brings up Special Zeno. Of course, you talked in pregame about her driving in the winning run against Hartford 10 days ago or so. Gave herself the win as the pitcher. And Sturgill is quickly ahead in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. And that's low.
A little change up from Sturgill. Everything was heat, and she took some off on that pitch. But fooled me because on the change up, you have to keep the exact same windup.
And there's a foul out of play.
And I think Special knew the heat was coming. Up there protecting it, 1-2.
Bottom half of the first inning. And there is strike 3. So we have completed 1 inning of play and we are scoreless. And Marcus, watching these MC softball players in action, you have to stop and think about the commitment that it takes to play a sport at the college level. And I talked to all the players the other day, and I asked them what they like most about playing softball here at Montgomery College. So let's take a listen.
Just the girls itself. I mean, everyone gets along so well together. The coaching staff is awesome. They'll understand anything, and it's just an awesome experience.
I think it'd be teamwork and being around the team. They're awesome girls. They're so sweet.
The best part is, just being with the team and trying as hard as I can and just having fun with it, since it's, not my main sport. Just trying to have as much fun as I can with it and put all my hard work out there for the team.
The chemistry this year, it's starting to all just morph like how it should be, like how a bunch of successful teams are these days.
I mean, when I graduated high school, I thought I wasn't going to be able to play softball anymore. I thought it was done, and I was really upset about it. I really like the team. We meshed definitely better than last year's team, and that makes it a lot better. But, just the opportunity to still play. And I guess I also get to wear this number. My high school number was 2. That's my favorite number. But this is actually in honor of my friend in basketball from high school, my teammate. Well, she played softball and basketball, but she passed away during her season. She was killed. So this is kind of in honor of her, so I get to kind of do something for her.
Well, that's Kim Warren, who we just heard from there, Marcus, and that is a very touching story. Unfortunately, she has been told by the umpire she cannot wear that jersey because it was a custom-made jersey because the school did not have a 35 for her, but she still wears a wristband with the number 35 on it. And I know a little bit about that story of her friend being killed. She was a pedestrian killed by a motor vehicle, and so it's a sad story, but what a great reason to keep playing.
Well, they all talk about camaraderie and the team aspect, but it doesn't start at MC. That started in high school, and that started well before high school with travel teams, and that's what these ladies gravitate to, and that's the team aspect and the camaraderie.
All right, we are into the top half of the second inning now, and up is number 9 for Southern Maryland, and that is Allison McLean.
All she has is 6 home runs this year.
So this is their big stick. And she's playing first base today. And she's out of Chopticon High School in Mechanicsville, Maryland. And I don't know if they're the Chopticon Choppers or what their nickname is.
She's actually got 19 strikeouts and 20 hits, so she swings for the fences.
Apparently it's not the Choppers, Marcus.
It's the Braves.
It's the Braves. It's the Braves.
I had a couple of friends at Frostburg State that went to Chopticon.
And that ball rolls foul. Kind of a half swing.
One thing I know about St. Mary's and Charles County, and it's the Southern Maryland Athletic Conference, the SMAC, and they love their baseball and they love their softball.
Full count to McLean. Top half of the second on a beautiful day in Rockville, Maryland. And there's strike 3. Right through it.
Second strikeout in a row for Special Zeno, and the third on the afternoon. Just 4 outs, 5 outs in. 5 batters in, I should say. 4 outs.
That brings up number 17, Jasmine Berry, the center fielder.
So she's faced 5 batters, and she has 3 Ks.
Well, that kind of mirrors what she did the last time we were here against Hartford. She had 12 Ks in that one. Actually, she's off to a better ratio in this one.
But that's not looking at the numbers, that's not really a surprise, because Southern Maryland, while they do rack up some power numbers, they also rack up the strikeouts.
Berry takes that one inside to even the count at 1 apiece. No score. Top of the second. Swings right through that one for strike 2. And I already see Zeno getting stronger. More zip than in the first inning.
And that was a nice spot. Taney lined up a little on the inside.
Strike 3.
And that was straight down the middle. There was no corner painting on that pitch.
So 2 up, 2 down, both by strikeout, and that brings up Amber Whalen, the left fielder for Southern Maryland. And also one of their top pitchers. We may well see her pitch in the second game for Southern Maryland. Although it's not uncommon in softball to see a pitcher pitch both ends of a doubleheader.
I mean, we saw Bridget Gratton throw, 68, 69 pitches, under 70 pitches in the first game against Hartford last week. And she certainly could have come out and pitched again. And Special Zeno was throwing harder, in the 7th inning than she was in the first inning in the second game of that doubleheader.
I covered a Raptors doubleheader earlier this season against Frederick, and Zeno pitched both halves of the doubleheader. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Whalen. 2 outs, bottom of or top of the second.
Amber Whalen's a 300 hitter on the season.
Evens the count at 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on for the Hawks.
Special has come inside pretty hard on a couple of these last batters, and then she's moved it back out over the plate.
Came inside there. That time Taney was set up on the outside corner. Now Taney, the catcher, she could probably play any position on this team. And right through it as Special Zeno strikes out the side here in the second inning. 1, 2, 3, and Southern Maryland does not score. So after an inning and a half of play, we are still scoreless. And, Marcus, we've talked a lot about, over the last couple of games that we've done, we've talked about the athleticism of this MC team. It's a group of athletes that have been playing this game for a long time. So when I talked to all of them the other day, I asked them who got them into softball in the first place, and got some interesting answers.
Actually, my sister introduced me because, in I'm from California. So in California, we had travel ball teams, and she played on one of the best travel ball teams. So she took me to one of her games, and I was like, hey, I want to try it. So I tried it, and I was about 6 when I started playing.
My father. Yeah, yeah, we basically just watched baseball because he would always talk about it. And I'm like, it's really interesting and stuff. I didn't really like football and watching it with him. Yeah, so baseball I would sit down and watch.
My mom. I was probably maybe 8 because I was in the MVA teams around here.
I think I was 10, and my neighbor's daughter's team needed extra players for their rec team, and my mom said that I could do it because I didn't do anything for that season.
I guess my dad, he still plays slow pitch softball. He's still crazy, fanatic about it. I mean, my whole family has played in softball. I guess I didn't play till I was in maybe 7th grade or 6th grade, just on a rec league because the school I went to didn't have a team.
And we are back, and some good stories there as we are into the bottom of the 2nd inning, and Bridget Gratton is now leading off for the Raptors. Bridget, one of the 2 top pitchers on the team. We talked a lot about her in the pregame.
She pitched a heck of a game against Hartford, and she doesn't throw as hard as, and she goes down on strikes there, but she doesn't throw as hard as Special Zeno or even Lori Sturgill on the opposite mound, circle, I should say. But she really located her off-speed stuff in and out and up and down, and I think we talked about it in the Open where Hartford was really kept off balance. And it was interesting when Special Zeno came in the second game, they seemed to, Hartford seemed to actually swing the bats better against Special Zeno because they were just out there to get the bat on the ball. And they weren't really thinking about it as much, and we saw 2 straight triples against 2 of the bottom batters in the order for Hartford.
So Jennifer Valdez steps in for the Raptors, fouls one off. And Jennifer is another California kid. She's from Southgate, California. Moved here when she was 8 or 9. Told me it was the worst thing that's ever happened to her.
Well, we'd be hard-pressed to find any softball team on the East Coast, let alone Maryland JUCO, to have 2 consecutive batters in their softball lineup from California.
I'll tell you. She did go to high school around here. She went to Watkins Mill High School. And there's going to be an appeal there, see if she broke the plane, and she did not. So full count on Jen Valdez. She's a nursing major and an excellent center fielder. Really covers a lot of ground out there. She grounds it right back to Sturgill. Well hit, but Sturgill picked it up for the 2nd out of the inning. So that'll bring up Jocelyn Carter.
These innings are starting to look like carbon copies of each other, whether it be a Special Zeno or Sturgill.
So far, a very well-pitched game on both sides as Jocelyn Carter steps in, the first baseman for the Raptors. Takes a strike. And she's from Washington State. Nia Bay, Washington, originally.
3 consecutive West Coasters.
But another Watkins Mill grad did move here and went to Watkins Mill.
You know,
she
and
fouls it off, stay alive.
And quite often we see the other divisions, in competition with MC, the Division 1s and Division 2s. So you do see somebody from California who is still a resident of California. And, our West Coasters, they are established residents, or else they would be paying out-of-state tuition with no scholarship money.
Which is a tough deal. And she takes strike 3, so 3 up, 3 down for the Raptors. So after 2 complete innings of play, we are scoreless. And we'll be right back with the top half of the 3rd after this. You're watching Montgomery College Softball on MCTV.
My favorite thing about Montgomery College is their commitment to excellence.
The support that we have from our teachers and our colleagues is amazing.
They really wanted me to pursue my goals and to graduate and to go beyond.
The small class sizes and everything was very hands-on.
Our teachers are hands-on on the students. They are there and they are available at any time.
They just want you to succeed. I love everything about Montgomery College.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We get a little campus shot there, Marcus, as we get ready to start the third inning.
Yes, sir, Michael. And, hey, be sure to check out the MC Raptors YouTube channel at youtube.com/the Raptors MC. There's archives of all the broadcasts we do here at MCTV, tons of highlights. And here, my partner, Michael Brown, very busy guy. You'll see him at almost every Raptors home game. You'll see him at a few road games. And he posts great highlights. And even though we're not doing a full broadcast, you can count on getting highlights of the games that we don't broadcast. And not to mention, Michael Brown is now on Twitter. So find him at MC_RaptorsVoice.
Well, thank you for that Twitter plug, Marcus. And we are all set now for the top half of the third inning. And leading off for Southern Maryland is number 1, Devin Heilmeyer. And she's the second baseman in our opener today, facing Special Zeno, who is fresh off 3 straight strikeouts. Four straight strikeouts.
And she has 5 strikeouts on the game, and there's only been 6 outs.
So
Randy Johnson territory here.
That's for sure. But Heilmeyer is quickly up in the count, 3 balls, no strikes.
She did walk a batter in the first inning. She walked Corinne Fernald,
who did make it all the way around to third before the strikeout ended the inning. And Heilmeyer, I think
there was a little bit of a bend to that pitch. I'm not sure what kind of if there was a change, but there was a little bit of a curve to that.
She thought she had ball 4, but home plate umpire Nastri thought otherwise. So there she goes down the line, and that brings up number 7, Alexia Banks. And she's the catcher.
And she has 4 home runs.
Yeah, they've got some pop on this team. As a team, they've hit 17 homers. She bunts a foul. I'm sorry, a bunt right back to Zeno, who grabs it, but Heilmeyer wisely was not far off first.
Number 3, Caitlin Cave.
Get a real quick look at this one. And easy play for Zeno. Heilmeyer didn't stray far.
Brings us back to the top of the lineup.
Right. Back up to Cave, Caitlin Cave, and she struck out the first time. So she's 0 for 1. 1 out, top of the third inning, no score. And there's a ball inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Caitlin Cave, one of the few sophomores on this Southern Maryland team. They have just 3 sophomores.
They're going to be a good team next year.
Yeah. They're going to be, at this level, you get a lot of turnover, of course. It's a 2-year program, 2 years of eligibility. And so you get a lot of turnover. The Raptors are also a very young team. They have 5 sophomores. And that's ball 4. So a base on balls to Cave. So suddenly 2 are on now. And that brings up Corinne Fernald. And of course, as you just pointed out, Marcus, she walked her first time up in the first inning. So 1 out here in the top of the third, and Southern Maryland with runners on first and second with Fernald up. She shows bunt, throw to third, and she is an easy out as Taney threw out Heilmeyer at third by a mile.
And they had a play on, and, Clark was, or the batter was really supposed to, Fernald was supposed to put that ball down.
They almost got a double play out of that as Megan Anderson rifled that ball to second base, and Cave just got back. And there is a strike.
Carrie L. Taney's going to hear about that one from the coach.
She is definitely going to hear about that one.
It happens to the best of them.
Yep.
Usually we see it on Sports Center, and the right fielder's handing it to a little kid in the first row.
So
one thing that I noticed about Taney in the first 2 games that we did is she doesn't wait on a good pitch on 2 strikes. If the batter's looking, she'll try to make the call for the umpire and walk to the dugout.
Exactly.
And it works on the other side as well, because
exactly.
we've seen batters halfway down the line and they get called back because, well, they tried to grab one from the umpire and the umpire's not going to give it to them. So Carrie L. Taney does that as well. But we didn't see her toss the ball back up until now.
And nobody's going to laugh more about that than Carrie L. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and that evens the count at 2. And Cave still on second. And there's a pop-up foul. I'm sorry. Stayed fair, and Kim Warren picks it up for the 3rd out. So Special Zeno gets out of that one. And after 2.5 innings of play, we are still scoreless. And, Marcus, when I talked to the softball players the other day, I asked them for their favorite softball memory. And since they've been playing all their lives, I knew they'd have some good ones, and here they are.
There's one where I was pitching. This was at a tournament over the summer, and I was pitching, and the ball came right at me and almost hit me in the face, and I went down. I won't do it, but I went down, almost caught it with my glove. I was hiding like this. It looked hilarious. It hit my glove and bounced off, and I didn't get it, but it was hilarious. And I got an award at the end of the year saying most likely to use ninja moves to save yourself.
So when I was a sophomore in high school, it was the All-Star game, and they switched up the teams to play against our other teammates, and I was playing second, and the pitcher, who was I guess my best friend at the time, she had a really nice hit, kind of down the middle, but I got her out, and it was the best play ever. I still remember that, but I guess getting her out.
I was coming to slide up on home plate, and I was in the middle, and girls were throwing the ball back and forth, and I was outrunning it, and then for the last one, I slid under her legs, and I don't know, I felt so happy and great. I was yay!
When I had stopped playing in high school for a little bit, I had came back, and my first game catching again, I did really well. I had 2 outs because of me in 1 inning, and it was just a really good feeling to step back on and have that positive energy all over again.
1 year for my travel team that I went error-free, playing center, and that's probably one of my greatest memories from softball.
And we are back to live action here, bottom of the third. Like I told you, Marcus, some great memories there as we see Susanna Weaver step in to lead off the inning.
Nothing like making a diving play to get your best friend out.
That's for sure. I love the Susanna Weaver Ninja Award memory as well. So Susanna Weaver leading off for the Raptors. She's playing right field today. And she's ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike against Lori Sturgill.
And still goose eggs on the board for both teams. And Special Zeno really had to fight to get out of that inning. And although the Hawks did somewhat run themselves out of the inning,
they helped them with that. It'll be called a caught stealing, but obviously it was there's a foul tip to stay alive. But obviously they had some sort of a play on. They were hoping that Cave would get the bat on the ball, and she didn't.
And Kim Warren made a nice play on the pop-up to end the inning.
And Weaver takes strike 3.
That was a nasty pitch.
That was a tough
pitch. That thing
pitch.
came over the top front part of the inside half of the plate.
So that brings up Kim Warren, who made that nice catch to end the top half of the third. Kim Warren is one of the sophomores on the team and also one of the co-captains. The co-captains for the Raptors are Kim Warren and Special Zeno.
And you can tell Kim Warren's played a lot of softball in her young life.
Just the way she carries herself on the field, her demeanor. She's kind of the soul of the team. Of course, she had a great story about why she wears number 35 on her wristband. And she walks, so that's the first base runner of the game for the Raptors. And that brings up Christine Mabry. And, of course, Christine, as you talked about in the pregame, was one of the heroes of that second game against Hartford a couple of weeks ago when we were here.
And I'm not sure what the conference is. That's the first base runner. I wouldn't exactly say that Lori Sturgill is in any sort of trouble.
No, I wouldn't either.
Probably just a little bit of a, this is where you got to be. Settle down a little bit.
Maybe getting the rest of the infielders to think, okay, if the ball comes to you, what are we going to do with it?
A little strategy.
So Christine Mabry steps in. And she shows bunt, pulls it back, throw to first, and the ball got away.
And that's really what you want to see from Kim Warren is make them throw the ball, make them make a play. Now, she was way far off of first base, and if the first baseman was in position, she would have been out. But still, you're making them make a throw.
Shows again. Yeah, she's getting quite a lead
or
after
I should
the
say
pitch.
The second baseman, because when in softball, when you square, I mean, you have the corners charging, and then you sort of follow behind where the second baseman becomes the first baseman, et cetera.
And I'm not sure what's going on here. She was signaled safe. She is being called out for leaving the base too early. So that takes care of that base runner.
And that's an easy call for the first base umpire because he sees both of those spots simultaneously. He sees the release and he sees the runner.
So 3 balls, 2 strikes now to Mabry, and all of a sudden nobody on for the Raptors. So again, we got to go back to that rule. The runner cannot leave the base until the ball leaves the hand of the pitcher.
So that erases the only base runner that the Raptors have had.
They have yet to have a hit as Warren got on via the walk.
So the Hawks gave the Raptors one in the top half of this inning.
And the Raptors returned the favor.
That's right.
So that is the third strike and the third out, and after 3 complete innings of play, we are scoreless. We'll be right back with more MC Softball after this quick break. You're watching Montgomery College Television.
No matter where you're headed, no matter what your age, you'll find it all here at Montgomery College. Small class sizes, flexible scheduling, over 130 programs of study, award-winning faculty, nationally ranked NJCAA athletics. The possibilities are endless at Montgomery College. Apply today.
And we are back to the action for the top half of the fourth inning. No score. Special Zeno back out on the mound for the Raptors as both pitchers have definitely been in control here.
Some exciting inning the third was, and we saw the Hawks get runners on second and third. Really made a mistake, not getting the ball down when it was actually a hit and run or sort of a safety suicide, if you want to look at it that way. And then the Raptors gave it right back to them, where the Raptors finally got their first base runner, but Kim Warren was erased at first base for trying to leave early. Got to wait for that ball to get out of the hand.
Little bit anxious there as the Raptors were trying to put pressure on the College of Southern Maryland defense. So that brings up number 11, Alexis Clark, and she grounded back to Zeno her first time up. Top of the fourth. There's a hard hit single into left field.
And the no-hitter is no more.
So that is the first hit for Southern Maryland. And that brings up Sturgill. She struck out her first time up. And she fouls it back.
Trying to move that runner into scoring position. She turns, squares, can't get the bunt down.
Good look at Carrie Altaney there as she tends to her equipment. And maybe we can get a shot of this. Both the first baseman and the third baseman are well in. They call it bringing in the corners. There's a good look of Jocelyn Carter, how close she is. There's an even better look at both position players as they are squeezing the corners. They're expecting a bunt here by Sturgill.
And it's really no secret that if a right-handed batter can just get the bat head down and push it to the right side of the infield, that's what she's going to want to do if she doesn't square. But now the corners are back with two strikes.
Yeah, with two strikes. No balls, two strikes now. And there is strike three. So
what a
Sturgill,
pitch.
Boy, that was a tough pitch. And that brings up McLean, Allison McLean.
That's a nice pitch because the pitch before, it was outside, and then she comes inside.
Right on the knees.
I mean,
good look at that.
Work in each corner is what Special Zeno's been doing. And she's really starting the batters off on the inside half of the plate.
And she's facing Allison McLean now with one out. She struck out her last time up. She was one of 4 in a row there for Zeno. So 2 balls, no strikes.
Looks like Carrie Altaney wants to chuck the ball down to first base every time she catches it.
And there's a nice pitch on the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. So Clark on first with the first hit of the day by either team here in the top of the fourth. 3 balls, 1 strike now to McLean. Well, she carries herself like a real athlete. I mean, of course, the home run totals are very impressive, 6 home runs. And she walks her. So 2 runners on now. And that brings up Jasmine Berry.
Center fielder number 17, Jasmine Berry.
She struck out her first time up.
Again, Special Zeno has a couple of base runners. And see if she can work out of this jam.
1 out. Runners on first and second. And Jasmine Berry at the plate. Both runners faking a steal there. Trying to draw a throw. Comes the pitch. That's a strike. I didn't even have to wait for the signal on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 2 on, top of the 4th, no score. There's a bunt, foul. Raptors had that well played. Everybody moving.
And Special Zeno now has the count in her favor, 1 and 2, 1 out, first and second. And she's going to have to bring something, and you know Jasmine Berry's going to be protecting at the plate right now.
Yeah, she needs a strikeout here. And there's a ball.
I didn't think she brought that bat back, but that was close.
Jasmine Berry out of Great Mills High School, Lexington Park, Maryland. Showing bunt again, pulls it back. That time she pulled it back.
Yeah, she did.
So the count runs full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. First baseman Jocelyn Carter comes in. Now she's going back a little bit.
When she's lunging across the plate, it makes it hard for the umpire to call that pitch.
And that's going to be ball 4. So Berry works a walk to load him up. And that'll bring up Whalen. Another look at that.
Number 8, Amber Whalen.
Clearly out of the zone. And that brings up Amber Whalen. She was a strikeout victim her first time up.
That's 5 walks for Special Zeno right here in the top of the 4th inning. 5 walks on the game.
3 walks in a row. So bases loaded. And nowhere to put Amber Whalen. Raptors first baseman, third baseman are in a little. They will look for a play to the plate. Anything in the infield, certainly anything to the corners or back to the pitcher, they will most likely come home with it, I would think. Second baseman Kim Warren also in. There's a bunt foul.
And Special Zeno really got bailed out by the batter trying to bunt, because that was going to be a hit batsman, and it actually went off her bat. So,
or if it hadn't hit her, it might have been a wild pitch, and it could have allowed number 11 Alexis Clark to score. So no balls, 2 strikes now. Sack still full. Comes the pitch inside.
And Special's not really happy with the umpire right now, but she's got to get her head back into the circle, because every call that's not going her way on 2 strikes, she's reacting to it.
High. That evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nowhere to put Amber Whalen. Top of the 4th. And she swings right through it. That's exactly what she needed there. As Whalen goes down swinging for the 2nd time in the game. Get a good look at that one.
And this is Devin Heilmeyer, and she's going to want to try to do exactly what she did in the first at bat, and that is get a walk. A walk is a run for the Hawks.
She walked in the third and then was thrown out stealing at third base. And she is a tough strike zone also. She takes a strike. She's listed at 4'11".
And I think Special's just going to try to throw the ball over the plate and not try to throw the ball as much by Hellmeyer.
A little high. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases loaded with Hawks. And there's a strike over the outside corner.
That's a nice spot. Right off the outside corner. And Hellmeyer didn't want it as soon as it left the hand.
Key moment early in game 1 of our doubleheader. Way outside.
And
no.
she overthrew on a 2-2 count. Now it brings it to 3-2, and now you're in real dangerous waters.
And my guess is Hellmeyer is, unless it's right down Broadway, is going to be taking.
And she's going to scrouch down because she's got that stature.
Grounds it to first, foul. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bases loaded.
She protected on that pitch.
She sure did, because that was strike 3. And that is ball 4. So a run crosses the plate via the walk. And that'll count as an RBI for Hellmeyer, and that's the first run of the game.
Devin Hellmeyer, that is 21 walks on the season. She came into this game with 19 walks, which led the team.
So that brings up Alexia Banks, and of course the bases are still loaded, so Zeno's still in some trouble. Banks popped back to Zeno her first time up. And there's a strike. So she's quickly ahead in the count now. No balls and 2 strikes. She's throwing a lot of pitches this inning. There's a pop-up foul off the screen behind home plate. Throwing a lot of pitches in this inning after the first 3 innings, which were very efficient.
Well, I'd be very surprised if we see Special Zeno in game 2.
Yeah, after this kind of pitch count. I don't know where we are at the moment. We'll find out soon, but she's throwing a lot of pitches. We're up to almost 90 pitches, I'm being told. So after almost 4 innings of work, 3 2/3 innings. And there is strike 3. So after a tough inning, she gets out of it by giving up just 1. So after 3.5 innings of play, Southern Maryland on top 1-0. And, you know, by now it should be obvious that this MC Raptors team is filled with some outstanding athletes. They could have picked any sport to play. I have no doubt about that. So when I talked to them, I asked them, why softball?
I started t-ball when I was in kindergarten and my dad coached. And then just from there, my dad was my coach throughout each season growing up. So stuck with me there.
My aunt introduced me to the game. I only started playing like in sophomore year of high school.
I think I started to play when I was 4. I played t-ball, like the actual, like the coaches, there was no real rules or anything. They would just put a ball on a tee and then you would hit it and run somewhere, probably to third or something. You know, it was a mess, but it was experience to the ball, you know, to the game and all that. And I think I was around 4.
Me and my brother, we were on a t-ball team together, and I just took off from there, and I played baseball, and my friend Shannon Powell got me to play slow pitch softball, and she's like, you don't need to play slow pitch, just go to fast pitch. So I ended up playing fast pitch instead.
I don't know, probably around 5, 6 years old. I mean, I wasn't playing like in games then, but I was always with him or like with one of my older brothers and sisters playing with them in practice. I'd always be either shagging balls or just kind of being the bat girl or something like that.
And we are back. And Marcus, it's pretty obvious why this Raptors team is a much better team this year. They've got some players that have been playing this game for a very long time, a lot of experience.
And I like hearing the ones that say they started playing baseball.
Yeah, a lot of them started with T-ball.
I remember the first time I ever got into a batter's box as a 6-year-old. I can remember like it was yesterday, and the pitcher was a girl named Desiree Fafford, and she threw hard, and the first pitch I ever saw as a little leaguer hit me right square in the head.
And there's Megan Anderson grounds it right back to Sturgill, so 1 pitch, 1 out. And we're in the the bottom half of the 4th now. And the Raptors looking for their first hit. And here's Carrielle Taney. Coming up, we just heard from Carrielle. She's one of those that started with T-ball, and her whole family has played either softball or baseball or both. She's got a lot of experience. Of course, she played travel ball. She played high school ball. So here she is. She grounded back to Sturgill the first time up. So Sturgill has really been dominant out there.
I like when you ask them the question about how they started, and they go backwards in time, and their faces just light up talking about as when they were little kids playing.
Well, I used to coach T-ball, and I always look back at that as one of my most favorite coaching experiences, introducing little kids to baseball, and then just the fun. I think it was Bridget Grab pointing out they would hit the ball and run to third. I saw a lot of that back in my coaching day. There's a pop-up into right, and it's caught for the easy out there as number 3, Caitlin Cave, made the catch. So 2 up, 2 down.
Number 10, Special Zeno.
And that brings up Special Zeno. She struck out her first time up. So the Raptors with 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 4th. Sturgill has had things her way. The Raptors have had just 1 base runner up to this point, and that was Kim Warren. And then she was out when she left the base too early. Raptors have yet to get their first hit.
And they really haven't had any hard hit balls.
Had a couple of sharp grounders, but for the most part, no.
They've only got, basically they have 4 balls in play. The rest are strikeouts and walks.
Sturgill with 5 strikeouts.
And only 1 walk to Kim Warren.
Yep, just the 1 walk. Zeno takes it inside, works the count to 3-1. And she takes a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Raptors trailing 1-0.
They need base runners. They need to put the ball in play. But when they have, the Hawks have really made the plays.
Yeah, they've made all the routine plays. A ground ball to short, long throw in time for the 3rd out. So after 4 complete innings of play, the Raptors trailing 1-0, and we'll be right back with more softball action on MCTV.
With over 3.2 billion people online globally, cybersecurity jobs are in high demand. Montgomery College offers instruction on the latest technology in our state-of-the-art cyber lab. Hands-on experience provides entry-level computer technicians a pathway to enter the workforce or to transfer to a four-year institution. For more information, visit montgomerycollege.edu/cyberprogram.
Montgomery College is a friendly environment.
Great opportunity.
Accessible.
Caring.
Diverse.
Super. Wow.
Success.
Diverse.
Second home.
Excellent. Exceptional.
The best.
Simply unforgettable.
Fantabulous.
It's fantastic.
It's great.
Amazing.
Supportive.
Essential.
It's unique.
Inspiring.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Good shot there of our science building as we get ready to start the top half of the fifth inning.
And while we have a moment, we want to remind everyone that you can follow the Raptors on social media. On Twitter and Instagram, follow at MC_Raptors. On Facebook and YouTube, subscribe to / the Raptors MC, and you'll get all the latest scores and updates for all of MC's teams, video highlights, and all of our full MC TV sports broadcasts. Our pal Mike Simone does a heck of a job keeping us updated on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll soon be able to say that about you, my partner, Michael Brown, who is on Twitter now at MC_Raptor Voice.
And here we are, back to action. As Caitlin Cave leads off for Southern Maryland. She is 0 for 1 with a walk. Struck out in the first, walked in the third, and here she is in the fifth.
And I can just add to that.
There's a bunt to Mabry, over to first, not in time.
That's a perfect bunt.
Perfect bunt.
Way to start off an inning. But what I was going to say is, Michael, you started Twitter this afternoon, and you currently have 6 followers already.
Look out, Taylor Swift.
My goodness.
I'm coming out.
I mean, I have to admit, there are a bunch of familiar names, such as Montgomery College Television and Scott Youngblood, but you start with your friends and family, right? And you work your way up.
That's right. Well, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an adventure for the old boy. We'll see what happens. So that brings up Corrine Fornald.
Remember, technology is a good thing until it's a bad thing.
It lives forever. All right, so Fornald is 0 for 1 also. She walked her first time up, popped out to Kim Warren her second time up at second base. And there's a wild pitch, and that allows Cave to move up to second. So top of the fifth inning, nobody out, and Southern Maryland threatening again with a runner on second base.
And Fernald has already worked a 2-0 count from Special Zeno.
2 balls, no strikes. There's a strike. Zeno. And that's high. So she's behind in the count now, 3-1 to Fernald. Fernald is a freshman out of Chopticon High School. A couple of Chopticoners on this team. Bunts it to Zeno. She's going to have to go to first in time for the out. So the sacrifice works.
Nice play by Zeno to get the out. Nice play by Kimmy Warren to make a nice stab covering first base.
Get another good look at that one. That was well played by the Raptors. Little discussion here between Jim Cleary, the head coach of Southern Maryland, and the umpire. I'm not sure what that could be about, unless he thought Warren pulled her foot, maybe. Now he's going out to the base umpire. See if we can get another look at that.
I thought she actually pushed off to get her momentum to come back into the field of play.
That's exactly what I thought. Okay, so all right, we just got word from the field that they are arguing that third baseman Christine Mabry may have interfered with the runner going from second to third.
No, there would be. I think it was a first baseman. First baseman was in the first base line as Fernald ran to first, and I think that is what the issue was. Okay, so that would have been.
Boy, that's a fine-tooth comb there, and obviously it was overruled by the umpires for the out. So we're back to action now, and that brings up number 11, Alexis Clark.
So it would have been, let's see, Jocelyn Carter at first base, but I don't even think it was a close enough play to, for the umpire to have made the call.
No, I don't either.
But hey, you got to give it to the coach.
Yep.
Why not?
So Alexis Clark up. She singled her last time up and scored the lone run of the game. She's 1 for 2. And that one's right back in our faces. Made me flinch there. It came back so fast. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on third is Alexis Clark. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out.
And
there's a pop-up out into the outfield. Here comes the throw to home. It's going to be too high, and the run scores on the sacrifice fly to center field.
And I'm wondering if they're going to appeal the tag because I thought that she may have left a second early, but
nobody
either way,
coming out.
That's what they needed was a fly out to get the run home.
Here's a look of the catch by Valdez. We don't have the angle on
it's
third.
It's a tough angle.
Throw was high, and Cave scored.
She was down the line really quick.
That was awfully quick. So the second run of the game for Southern Maryland. As Alexis Clark gets the RBI on the fly ball to, and there's a fly ball out to right field, and Warren is under it for the third out, but not before Southern Maryland picks up a run. So after 4.5 innings of play, Southern Maryland on top, 2-0. We'll be right back with more Raptors softball after this. And welcome back. And as we just saw, coming up on April 30th, we'll be back on the Germantown campus at Windy Hill Park when the Raptors host Cecil College in yet another doubleheader. And that's going to be a big one because Montgomery College right now is in first place in Maryland JUCO baseball. They're 8-0 in the conference, 17-7 overall. And there you see Cecil not too far behind at 9-4. So, boy, another terrific season for Raptors baseball, Marcus.
As usual, I mean, they've won 10 out of the last 13. They're we saw this early. They can hit the baseball. They're hitting .345 as a team. Chris Heckhouse has an astounding batting average. He's hitting .452. Pedro Mateo, newcomer, has 6 home runs. Brooks Carson, not a newcomer, has 4 home runs. And the Raptors' #1 starting pitcher, Harry Thomas, who was a Division I AA player at Delaware State, he's been lights out. He's 6-0, 6 complete games, and has an ERA of .86, and you just don't get any better than that.
Well, that's for sure, and it's looking good for another trip back to the World Series for Dan Rasher's baseball team. If they do, that'll be the 9th time in his 11 seasons at Montgomery College. And back to softball action now. Bridget Gratton leading off for the Raptors here in the bottom half of the 5th. She struck out her first time up in the 2nd. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Lori Sturgill has been tough. Raptors still looking for their first hit.
And she's only faced 11 batters.
Yeah, here we are in the 5th, and this is only we haven't gone through the Raptor batting order twice yet. So,
and what's key is she's only walked 1 batter. And if I look at my other scorecard, Special Zeno has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases on ball. And
there's another strikeout.
Another strikeout.
And that brings up Jen Valdez. She grounded back to Sturgill the first time up. And the Raptors looking for their first hit. Southern Maryland holding a 2-run lead. There's a strike. We were watching Sturgill in warm-ups, and we both thought, boy, she looks like she could be tough. And that has proven to be the case.
Yeah, I had to look over because I heard the pop and the pop and the pop, and it was the catcher's mitt.
And she went for strike 3. So Valdez did commit. And so that's 2 quick outs on 2 quick strikeouts. That brings up Jocelyn Carter. She was a strikeout victim her first time up, as Sturgill was starting to rack up the strikeouts.
And Jocelyn way behind on that fastball.
So you wonder if perhaps Southern Maryland will go back to Sturgill in the second game. She's been very efficient. Or will they go with another pitcher? Well, of course, time will tell.
Now she's 1 pitch away from having one of her easiest innings. Not that she's really had any trouble.
Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bottom half of the 5th inning. And that is strike 3 looking. So 3 up, 3 down, all on strikeouts. And after 5 complete innings of play, Southern Maryland on top 2-0. We'll be right back with the top half of the 6th after this quick break.
No importa a dónde te diriges, no importa tu edad, encontrarás todo aquí en Montgomery College. Clases pequeñas, horarios flexibles, más de 130 programas de estudio, profesores reconocidos, programa deportivo NJCAA clasificado nacionalmente. Montgomery College. Solicita hoy.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. There we get a good shot of some activity on campus. That's the campus center there. And as we welcome you back to the softball field here on the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We've been talking about Sturgill, just going back to her for a minute, as McLean leads off the inning for Southern Maryland. Sturgill up to just 67 pitches, and she has 8 strikeouts and just 1 walk. So
yeah, Michael, if she gets out of this, relatively unscathed, I'm not sure why, Coach Leary doesn't bring her back in game 2, even to get 3 or 4 innings out of her in game 2.
So Allison McLean is leading off the top half of the 6th for Southern Maryland. She is 0 for 1. She's struck out and walked. And she walked during that, back during the 4th inning when Southern Maryland bunched 3 walks together to score their first run of the game.
And the walks really have come back to haunt Special Zeno this afternoon. They've only gotten a couple of solid base hits today.
Yeah, they have not hit her hard at all. Had a couple of sack bunts. They scored their second run on a sack fly. They scored their first run on an RBI walk.
I mean, according to my scorecard, she's throwing a 2-hitter. We've got Caitlin Cave with a hit, and we've got Alexis Clark with a hit.
And that's it.
And a lot of BBs and a lot of Ks.
Yep. Yeah, the Raptor fielders haven't had much to do other than when there have been base runners.
Get some sun.
It is a beautiful day for that. So that evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 6th inning on a picture-perfect day for softball. And she swings right through it for the strikeout. Boy, that was a riser.
Yeah, a high, hard one.
That brings up Jasmine Berry. Get another look at that strikeout by Special Zeno.
Yeah, that ball kept coming up.
9 strikeouts now for Zeno. But she's well over 100 pitches. So my guess is we are going to see Bridget Gratton pitch in the second game. 110 pitches for Special Zeno. There's a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Megan Anderson comes in for a little chit chat. Just a little quick. Just a quick little message there for Special Zeno. And now she runs the count to 3 balls, no strikes. Barry is 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. That's a common line for a lot of these Southern Maryland hitters today. And there's a strike on the inside corner.
Even though this is a relative pitcher's duel, we're stretching out to an hour and 35 minutes so far, and we still have an inning and a half, about 2 innings to go.
It doesn't appear that the 8-run rule is going to come into effect today. Of course, that rule is if the home team is leading by 8 or more runs after 5 innings of play, then it's all over. And there is strike 3. So she got behind in the count, 3 balls and no strikes, and then came back to get her on the strikeout. Good piece of pitching.
Totally fooled was Jasmine Berry.
So that brings up Amber Whalen, and she's struck out both times up. And it's a good chance, well, it's a possibility we will see her pitch in the second game. She is the number 2 starter for Southern Maryland. Takes a strike right over the outside corner.
At least this time around, compared to our first outing against Hartford last week, is our umpire actually has a little bit more of a vocal call, so we have a better idea.
We had a delayed strike call from last week's umpire, but we could not hear him. This umpire, he has a little bit of a delayed signal, but we can hear him, so helps a little bit. Every little bit helps. And that's inside. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs here in the top half of the 6th inning. Raptors trailing 2-0 over the Southern Maryland Hawks.
A lot of 3-ball counts for Special Zeno.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Once again, we run the count full.
I mean, virtually every batter's going full.
And I'd have to say that's pretty good patience at the plate by Southern Maryland. Because
Very much so.
A lot of these balls are close. And there's strike 3 called. So, once again, Special Zeno strikes out the side. So, after 5.5 innings of play, the Raptors still trailing 2-0. They'll be coming up to bat here in the bottom of the 6th, and we'll be right back for that after this quick break.
With over 3.2 billion people online globally, cybersecurity jobs are in high demand. Montgomery College offers instruction on the latest technology in our state-of-the-art Cyber Lab. Hands-on experience provides entry-level computer technicians a pathway to enter the workforce or to transfer to a 4-year institution. For more information, visit montgomerycollege.edu/cyberprogram.
And we're back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. Nice looking shot there from left field. And look at that line for Montgomery College. No runs, no hits, no errors. It's been an error-free game to this point. So we get a real good look at Lori Sturgill, who has absolutely shut down the Raptors offense so far here in the first game of our doubleheader.
And the superstition says you're not supposed to talk to your teammate about the current no-hitter that he or she is throwing, but I think with the little huddle in the circle that we just saw, I think that these ladies are very well aware, and they want to get this no-hitter for their pitcher.
Now Susanna Weaver is going to try to do something about that as she leads off for the Raptors. She struck out her first time up in the 3rd inning, so the Raptors have yet to make it through their batting order 2 times. As we are here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They've had just the 1 base runner.
If not for the base on ball to Kimmy Warren.
The ball low.
Or actually, yep, it was base on ball to Kim Warren.
Yep.
In her first plate appearance. And she was subsequently called out at first base.
Weaver
because
gets a piece of that.
She left early.
Count even now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Base coaches for the Raptors are the Niffenegers. Got Madeline at first and her dad James at 3rd. There's a ground ball foul up the first base line.
Weaver's got a good idea here. I mean, every batter from here out really just wants to put the bat on the ball and see what happens.
And she fouls it back.
And it's easier said than done because Sturgill just came with some heat and she just got a piece of it.
Just got around on it. Comes the payoff pitch, and that's low. So now it's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
And this is something that we haven't seen with Sturgill is 3-2 counts. She's been working ahead in the count from the first inning.
Raptors rhythmically clapping in the dugout as Weaver doing a good job of staying alive here. Susanna Weaver started her college career at the University of South Carolina and then transferred to MC. Fouls another one. Out that down the to the second baseman for the easy out. From the swing, it looked like that ball was going to go foul. I was totally fooled by the swing. So, one up, one down as Weaver worked her a little bit, but ended up grounding out to second base. And that brings up Kim Warren, and she has been the lone base runner for the Raptors.
It's only the 5th time that the Raptors have put the ball in play against Sturgill.
Just one ball to the outfield. That was a Carrie Taney fly ball to right field. And Sturgill quickly ahead of Warren. I'm sorry, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's an excellent pitch.
Boy.
Right in on the hands.
No, I was right. The scoreboard was
Michael,
wrong.
you were right.
I was right. Okay.
That was strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
Okay. I'm not losing my mind. And that brings up Christine Mabry. She was also a strikeout victim. She starts her bat out with a foul back. Bottom of the 6th, Raptors looking for their first hit of the ball game. There's a fly ball down the right field, but it's out of play.
And that's sort of like what Hartford was doing to Special Zeno in the first couple of innings last week when they were just getting the bat on the ball and pushing it down to the right field line.
Ooh, that was a tough pitch for strike 3. And so after 6 complete innings of play, as Sturgill picks up another strikeout, the Raptors find themselves behind 2-0, and we will be right back with the top half of the 7th inning after this. You're watching MC Softball on MCTV.
My favorite thing about Montgomery College is their commitment to excellence.
The support that we have from our teachers and our colleagues is amazing.
They really wanted me to pursue my goals and to graduate and to go beyond.
The small class sizes and everything was very hands-on.
Our teachers are hands-on on the students. They are there and they are available at any time.
They just want you to succeed. I love everything about Montgomery College.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. We are ready to start what could be the final inning of Game 1 as top of the 7th, Raptors trailing 2-0. It's been a pitcher's battle, but so far Southern Maryland's Lori Sturgill has gotten the best of it as she has held the Raptors without a hit and, of course, without a run, and it's 2-0.
And even though Special Zeno has probably given up more walks than she would really like, she's only given up a couple of hits, and you can't fault her. She kept her team in the game, gave up a run in the 4th, a run in the 5th. It's 2-0. So to keep your team within striking distance like this, I mean, you got to hand it to Special Zeno. She's just being outpitched by what's becoming a worldly performance by Sturgill.
121 pitches to start the inning for Special Zeno as she faces Devin Heilmeyer.
And that wakes up Heilmeyer and the umpire on the first pitch.
She has walked both times up, but her second walk brought home a run. It was actually the first run of the ball game for Southern Maryland. Back in the 4th inning, when Zeno ran into a little bit of control issue, loaded the bases, and then Heilmeyer walked to bring in the first run of the game. 1 ball, 1 strike, and she fouls it back. So Zeno ahead in the count.
Yeah, Devin Heilmeyer's been really a pest with only 2 walks, but they've been very important walks. But that's what she does. She leads the team in free passes, has a good eye.
And we just want to remind folks that when game 1 is over, we hope you keep it right here because we've got more MC softball coming up. Game 2 of our doubleheader will start about 30 minutes after the end of this one, so there's a lot more softball action ahead for everybody on MCTV.
Again, she goes 3-2 to Heilmeyer. But
Again,
it's just her MO today, Special Zeno, falling behind. And sure, I guess you have to credit CSM because they're up there, they're taking pitches, and they're making her, they're making her make good pitches.
And I would be very surprised if Special pitches the second game. We talked about that being a possibility earlier, but she's up now near 130 pitches as Heilmeyer walks, thought about going to second.
And she's rubbing her fingers together, but really, I'm not sure if it's because the ball is slippery. I'm not sure that there's a blister. I mean, you see that more in baseball where players are throwing curveballs and throwing forkballs, which are rubbing on the insides of the fingers. But she lost it low and away 3 times to that first batter, meaning that she's basically not getting a good grip.
Yeah, I saw her go for some dirt as well to rub on her fingertips. And that brings up Alexia Banks. And she has popped out to Zeno and struck out, so she's 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Once again, game 2 coming up 30 minutes after the conclusion of game 1. More MC softball action on MCTV. Ball high. So quickly 3-0 now to Banks. Nobody out. Top of the 7th. There's a strike. As Zeno can ill afford to give up another run here with the Raptors so far putting up nothing but goose eggs on the board, and they don't even have a hit. So Lori Sturgill just getting stronger and stronger. Banks goes right through that one.
Battle back to 3-2 for Special Zeno.
Been a common count today. Way outside for ball 4. So now we've got 2 runners on. That brings up the top of the order. Caitlin Cave. And she is 1 for 2. She struck out in the first, walked in the third, and got a bunt single.
By my count,
5th.
That is 8 bases on balls for CSM today.
We get a look at Raptor head coach Pierre Trudeau out for a little mound meeting. Of course, every time I say the name Pierre Trudeau, I think of the former Prime Minister of Canada. And no relation, but I just can't help I can't help thinking about that.
Pierre.
Now, he prefers Pete.
Right.
I don't think Pierre Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, was called Pete by anyone. Of course, Pierre Trudeau's son, Justin, is now the Prime Minister of Canada. And we've got Caitlin Cave stepping in. 2 on, nobody out. Runners on first and second. Corners come in. That ball gets away. Runners will move up. So runners now at second and third and nobody out. And this is a pretty dire situation for the Raptors.
The wheels are clanging right now. I wouldn't say they're falling off, but they're pretty close.
Runners on second and third, nobody out. 1 ball, no strike to count. Here's the pitch, swings through it.
She's been able to battle back when she's gotten her back against the wall with the strikeout, but she just doesn't have the control that she that she really needs to stay out of trouble.
High and outside.
Nice frame by Taney because that ball was about 6 inches outside. A little Yadier Molina-esque with that frame.
Yeah, this is a troublesome spot here for Zeno. Nice job by Taney to keep that ball from getting away. Two balls, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third. Caitlin Cave up, swings right through it.
There's the big strikeout again.
She's been able to dig deep. I'll tell you, she's a competitor out there. And that brings up number 2, Corrine Fernald. We get another great look at that strike 3 in slow-mo. Fernald takes strike 1. Fernald is 0 for 1. She's a walk, a strikeout, and a sacrifice bunt her last time up. 138 pitches now for Special Zeno. That's a lot of pitches. It's a bunt out in front of the plate, and it's a foul ball. Taney hopped out and grabbed it, but couldn't get it in time before it went foul. Actually, I think the ball actually hit foul in the box. So Zeno ahead of Fernald, no balls and 2 strikes.
If she can keep this to a 2-0 game going into the 7th.
And there is strike 3.
And we'll at least be able to still talk about the win and not just the no-hitter, attempted no-hitter. Because we are supposed to be talking about the no-hitter, Michael, because we're supposed to be trying to jinx the other team.
Well, I have mentioned it a few times. That brings up Alexis Clark. And she picked up her second RBI, or she picked up the second RBI for Southern Maryland her last time up with a fly ball to center field. So she also has a single, and she grounded back to the pitcher. So she is 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. And there's a line drive, but Christine Mabry reaches out, grabs it, and Special Zeno does a fantastic job of getting out of it. After 2 were on and nobody out, she comes back to retire the side, and we are going to take a real quick break. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 7th after this.
With over 3.2 billion people online globally, cybersecurity jobs are in high demand. Montgomery College offers instruction on the latest technology in our state-of-the-art Cyber Lab. Hands-on experience provides entry-level computer technicians a pathway to enter the workforce or to transfer to a 4-year institution. For more information, visit montgomerycollege.edu/cyberprogram.
And welcome back to the Rockville campus of Montgomery College, and we are ready to start the bottom half of the 7th inning. And we just saw that. You see the line score there on the bottom left of your screen, and what you notice first is the Raptors have no runs and no hits, And, of course, they are going to try to do something about that as we start the seventh inning. They will have the top of the order coming up with Megan Anderson, Carrie Eltaney, and Special Zeno.
Well, top of the order, bottom of the seventh. Opposing pitcher working on a no-no. And I guess for a 2-0 game, this is as good as we can ask.
That's for sure. Special Zeno, I want to go back to what a gutsy competitor she is.
You know, she needs base runners on second and third with nobody out to really speed these innings along because she mowed them down.
Yeah. I tell you what, if she does come out on the short end of the stick in this one, she certainly deserves a better fate. She has shown us a lot out there. The way she has battled. She's thrown 144 pitches on the day.
And you can say that she's been essentially effectively wild, not allowing any hits. I mean, allowing, 2 hits and 8 walks.
All right, so Megan Anderson leading off. She's 0 for 2 on the day. She's grounded out twice. And the Raptors need her on in the worst way.
And again, if you drop a bunt down and beat it to first, there's a hit. And that's why these corners are going to be crashing.
Corners are definitely coming in. They are on the move. Here they come. And takes a strike on the inside corner. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Megan Anderson. So this could be it. Once again, softball is a 7-inning game, regulation. There's a bloop down the right field line in foul territory. The right fielder cannot come up with it.
Would have been a nice play.
Would have been a nice play. She had a pretty good run, and there's not a lot of foul territory here, but she had a long run. Ball was not hit that high.
We do have some wind pushing the ball in that direction against Allison McLean in right field.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes now.
Or I should say Caitlin Cave.
To Anderson, and she takes it inside. Almost got hit by the pitch there. She wouldn't mind that either, knowing this one. She's a tough cookie.
Sturgill wanted that pitch, but it was a good 8-10 inches off the plate.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Way outside, so that's a walk.
So that changes things. We have still a no-hitter, but yet you have the tying run to the plate. And you don't get to say that very often.
No, and that's Carrie Eltaney, and that's an awfully good prospect to tie things up. The top hitter on the Raptors in terms of average and home runs. Takes it outside. Anderson draws a throw but gets back easily. So let's watch. You're going to want to definitely keep an eye on Anderson here. She is going to want to try to take second base, get herself into scoring position.
Well, these are the only 2 batters on the Raptors team that have yet to strike out today. Anderson, a couple of ground outs on the walk, and of course Taney has a fly ball to right field and a comebacker.
And she fouls it off. So Sturgill ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes to Taney. And she has the only ball hit to the outfield today by the Raptors up to this point. And there's a line drive to short and back to first, and they doubled her off. As Anderson, a little too aggressive there. And we are now 1 out away from a double, from a no-hitter here for Sturgill.
That's a tough play for Anderson. As soon as the ball leaves the hand, you're basically taking steps towards second base.
Right.
So she's caught in no man's land on a hard line drive. That's the best batted ball against Sturgill all day.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, of course, that's a testimony to the kind of job that Lori Sturgill has done. And now she faces her opposite Special Zeno. The Raptors down to their final out in the bottom of the 7th. And just a reminder, once again, we have a second game coming up. The nightcap of our doubleheader will start 30 minutes after the conclusion of this game.
Special Zeno won the game last week against Hartford. See if she can break some CSM Hawks hearts with a base hit.
Swings through that one. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that is strike 3, and Lori Sturgill has pitched a no-hitter for the College of Southern Maryland as they win the first game of this doubleheader 2-0. Marcus, it was the Lori Sturgill show.
It certainly was. We talked about it early. She was popping the mitt in warm-ups. She throws the ball hard. She was all around the plate today. She wasn't wild, and she was just overpowering today against the home team Raptors. And there you have it. It's a no-hitter and a 2-0 Game 1 win.
And, Special Zeno has nothing to hang her head about other than the fact that she lost. She only allowed 2 hits herself, but Lori Sturgill just bests her. So Game 1 goes into the books. Southern Maryland takes it 2-0. And don't go anywhere, though. Game 2 coming right up in 30 minutes. Stick with us, Marcus, and I'll be right back with all the action. You're watching Montgomery College Softball on MCTV.